I'm here at ICANN 61 in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with members of the 2018 Nominating Committee, or NomCom, Zahid Jamil, Holen, and Damon Ashcraft. Zahid, give me an idea of the bigger picture. Where are we in the NomCom process?
So we're right now about to close in to the application deadline. Our outreach is about to end. 19th of March is the deadline, but if you want to make sure that you want to apply to any of the slots that are open, you got to do it by the 19th of March. And then you have a week to actually complete your applications by the 26th of March. So I think that's really important that people take away. Now let me tell you what the slots are. 3 slots for the board, basically 3 seats onto the board, no geographic limitations, folks should apply. There's a seat on the GNSO, which is non-voting. Again, no geographic limitations. People should apply to that. And again, by the way, you don't have to have any affiliation with the GNSO or any recommendations from the GNSO or anything of that sort. We have 2 slots with geographically limited for ALAC, one for Europe, one for North America. Again, no need to be affiliated, apply. The last one is the CCNSO. We have 2 slots or 2 seats for the CCNSO we need to fill. Make sure you're not affiliated to any CCTLD or in any way connected to one to apply for those.
What changes that were made this year have improved the NomCom and its selection process?
So it's really important to underscore that these changes are basically based on recommendations, or at least most of them are, from previous years, and the hard work that previous chairs like Hans-Peter Holen and Stefan van Gelder in previous years have done. And the recommendations team, which worked really hard on many of the recommendations that we've implemented this year. The first one I'd say is we've expanded our networks. We've been trying to make sure that we have more than one recruitment firm. We managed to do that this year, thanks to staff and ICANN.org helping us with that. So that's expanded our networks. The second thing we've done is made sure that we have put out an RFP this year so that next year when Damon hopefully chairs the NomCom, he has a pool of assessment and recruitment firms to choose from. The second really big improvement I think that's happened is that we're going to have better communication. So every time, we won't be a black box like people have said sometimes, where nobody hears back from us until the end of the process. We're going to have, applicants who hear if they have not made through a certain stage, getting communication, being told, okay, you haven't made it through, and we'll be doing better in communication this year. Let's put it that way. The third thing, which I think is the most important one, is the ability for us to be able to meet face-to-face using existing budget that we had. We had to make a lot of sacrifices, but we managed to make sure that we can at least meet during our assessment and selection phase at least once, so that every single applicant and candidate, all of them, get a deliberative, thoughtful attention of every member of the NomCom as a group.
Hans, what improvements this year are the most interesting for candidates?
Yeah, the first one that we worked on is to have a clear job description for the board members, and that's been developed in collaboration with some board members, so it contains both the hard requirements from the ICANN bylaws, but also experience from existing board members. In addition to that, we worked on qualities and criteria for the selection process, last, we have actually also examined the timeline for the whole process and seen that we used to do the due diligence process after we had made up our mind, but that doesn't really make sense, so we moved that up before the decision, which means that we will take the result of the due diligence process into account when we make the decision, but it also means that we can announce the candidates just after we've made the decision, and that will help out the candidates to know whether they've been selected or not.
Damon, what improvements made this year will actually help with strategic planning for the next year?
Thank you very much. We've made several improvements along that regard. First off is that we have requests for proposals out to different assessment and recruitment firms so that we could have those signed up and ready to go with ICANN as soon as the committee meets next year and selects which firms that they want to use. That's going to be one important thing that we've done. In addition to that, we've also changed our operating procedures to include a hard coding for certain requirements, such as requesting advisory committees and supporting organizations to tell us exactly what are the specific types of people that they're looking for and what are the qualities and different attributes that they're looking for in candidates. And the third thing is that we've also implemented some new training this year. We have formal training on confidentiality, conflicts of interest, and also we've implemented the retention of a recruiting firm, which has come in and given us all some training on the proper interviewing techniques for board level candidates.
How do you intend to give continuity to these improvements?
Well, that's built in with respect to the nominating committee leadership structure. The chair-elect position, the position that I have, is presumed to step up and be chair at the next term, provided that the ICANN board approves that late in the summer. So that's one thing we're going to be doing. In addition to that, there's a recommendation subcommittee that I'm chairing, and the recommendation subcommittee is tasked with putting together recommendations that will be given to the next NomCom. And as Zahid mentioned, those were the recommendations that are the basis for many of our changes this year.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me during what must be a very busy meeting.
Thank you.